Welcome to Unruly 3, father of 3 unruly kids.
I'm not really.
So a parent from my class called me and asked me if I would make a bench for her husband for Father's Day. So she had that one in the back. You can kind of see it back there. That's going to be the sample that I'm kind of working from. My plan totally changed though. But that was the basic size that they kind of wanted. So I went and I got a bunch of cedar. And I had some cedar too at home that was kind of chainsaw milled. So I had planed that up. I used that for some of the 4x4s, like these pieces after it's been milled and cleaned up. And then gonna make a bench for them. So a lot of the times I'm using the previous board as kind of like for my measuring. So the front board needed to have this notch put in it for the 2x6 that goes across the front. So here I'm kind of measuring up, setting up about how big I'm going to make this notch. So I'm using a small sample of that 2x6. And then once I get it kind of notched where it's supposed to be, so I do have a dado stack. I am just too lazy to put it on. So what I'm going to do is just cut a little ways here and then just take it over to the bandsaw and cut off the rest. Now this is the side supports. Now one thing about cedar is you definitely have to pre-drill all of your holes. And then, so this is one of the supports on the side. Again, I'm using this small piece up on top as a measuring so that I get it equal on both sides, this piece coming down. And then I thought I would do something kind of fun and put their last name on the front of this 2x6 that's going across for the main support. So I got some epoxy, and I'm just keeping the epoxy down below the lip, so when I sand it, it doesn't get super scuffed up or anything, but you can sand it down and take it down to the edge there pretty close. So just try getting it as close to even in all these as I can. Sometimes I get a little too much, so I scoop it up, and sometimes I have to get a little bit more and fill these in a little bit better. Now, one thing about this cedar, here I'm using this flame to kind of get rid of the bubbles, but one thing about this cedar is, look how it just soaked up into it. And I was really hoping that when I sanded it that would all kind of disappear. Then on the base, this is the bottom 4x4, well, that shape there, I don't know, that's 5x4 or something it ended up being, I'm not sure. But I was just routering the edges to make it so they didn't chip and splinter too bad. And again, you can see I'm using the other board kind of as my, to make sure I'm getting them all about the same length. This is going to be the back supports, and I just wanted them kind of rounder. Just something that wasn't quite so hard. And then use that one to make my lines for the rest. So here I'm going to pre-drill because this is going to go in. So I just kind of put a sample one down there, draw a line in the middle, pre-drill my holes. And make sure to clean up your glue. I had a whole bunch of, so I countersunked all these screw heads, and I thought, well, I was going to use a lot of these plugs and just try to see if I could stop some of the water from seeping in on some of these. Then once you sand them, they don't really match a cedar too well, but I think a lot of these are kind of hidden anyway from the armrest and other things. So I need to put these braces here, but I don't want to drill through here because I have their name here. So I'm gonna put a block underneath them, and I'm gonna try to hold them with some pocket screws. Let's see how good that does. So I'm gonna mark it where I'm gonna put these little blocks down here on the bottom. Use this clamp to hold them into place. Then when I put these across, I have the pocket screws there and they go into that board and you can't see the support there. And it doesn't show on the outside and I didn't have to put any covers or anything on them. Now, like I said, a lot of these are going to be blocked. But again, I have some holes, so I'm going to end up trying to fill those with those little wood tabs. So this is the back support on that side. And now I got one side done. You can see that back support I'm pointing to. That's the one I just put on. So I had to have a couple more all the way across. I had 2 of them. Now, in the middle here, I'm just kind of putting a shelf. So what I'm doing is I put the back one in at the height that I thought would be good. Then I have these clamps down here kind of holding it where it's going to be. But I haven't screwed them in yet. And then I'm going to take a board, put it across the top, and put my level on it. And now I'm just raising it up until my level becomes equal, or level, I guess. And once it is level, then I know that I got the right height up there. And then I just check the sides again. This is how I put the slats in. Just had a little bit of I started at the top. Just use a little divider here. Started the screws in, picked them up. Then added the rest of them. Again, I'm doing kind of like the same thing that I did for that that board on the top. I just went ahead and did this. This is going to be the front piece that goes all the way across the front. I didn't want to have 2 separate ones on both sides. So I'm doing the same thing that I did before. Just cut this out on the table saw, take it over to the bandsaw and cut out the rest going straight across. And then this is the board that I'm putting in here. So it's just going to go all the way across, kind of bend it in, make sure it fit. Have a little spacer there. And then just put the spacer in on the other side. Squeeze it in good. Then I have a board going all the way across. So these ones I didn't want the screws to show on the top, so I'm drawing a line on the back, kind of where they're fitting, and then gonna put this guy in there. It's just gonna be a brace that goes across it. Make sure you don't drill into your workbench. And then I put it in on here and then just use those screws and screwed it in to the back. Alright, so here I'm doing the armrest. I just kind of picked up any kind of pattern here for it. I just kind of made this end round and the front rounded. And then screw those into the top and take the plugs and put them in on the top. Try to make it kind of smooth. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and sand it. I want to say that I sanded it to maybe 180. That's Barry Blue Jeans down there saying hi. And then took the finish to it. I'm just using Thompson's water seal on this. I wasn't sure what to put for this outdoor stuff. But some Thompson water seal I think is going to keep it looking nice. Really makes the grain on that cedar pop. Alright, thanks for watching.